Hello the internet. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Fran and I do planning things here on the internet. This is gonna be a real-time plan with me. So I'm gonna like say a category of what I'm doing and then we're gonna do it. And I will put timestamps on. So if you don't want to listen to the little preamble and you just want to jump straight into the actual planning, then you can go to this timestamp, which I will do in editing. So thank you, editing Fran. And you can skip all of the introduction bit. But it has been a few weeks since I filmed anything. It's been longer since I filmed anything, but it's been about 4 weeks since I planned anything. Mike has been in and out of the hospital. You may or may not know, he has a congenital heart defect. And so he has things that happen that sometimes require him to, visit the hospital. He was in as an inpatient for a couple of weeks and then he was out and then he went back in because he had some arrhythmias, and he's totally fine. Nobody's panicking on a scale of like, oh no, he's going to die. But there is a reality that it's sort of very disruptive and a bit inconvenient and all of that stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to like shout out what we're planning and like what level what bits and pieces we're running through. I will give myself an arbitrary timer that I may or may not stick to, depending on how long it takes, because I've never actually timed myself properly before, so I don't know how long each section takes. But I will put the timestamp for the next section, so if you want to, you can pause it and skip, if that makes sense. So you can be like, okay, this category, pause it for as long as you need, and then skip to the next category as needed. I will be working on, so I'm going to be combining my sprint level and my week level stuff this week. I don't actually know what week it's supposed to be, if I'm supposed to be mid-sprint or at the beginning or the end, but the fact is that I haven't been doing anything because I've spent at least a month not being productive. So what I want you to do on this first level that you're planning on, whether you're planning on like a month level or a week level or like the next 6 days or the next 3 days or whatever works for you, is to take some kind of a visual timeline, however you want to do it. If it's just a piece of paper with a rough timeline written out, or if it's in like a formal structured diary or whatever, the first thing we're going to do, and I'm going to give us 2 minutes. Does it need more than 2 minutes? Let's do 2 minutes of just going through the week or the time scale that you're working through and just put in all of your fixed appointments. So that's for you, for anybody else, things that are not tasks, but like appointments, plans, bits and pieces that you've got that are fixed in the timeline. I'm going to try not to talk while I do it, but we'll find out if that happens, and we'll find out together. Okay, go. that felt much faster than it was. I think that is probably everything. I would say take a minute now if you need to pause and send any messages, if you need to confirm with people for any appointments. Fixed appointments of the week we've done. Then, so when can we work out plus or minus when do we need clean hair? So I would say start with when do you need clean hair, because that for me is a huge barrier for working out or not, because I'm like, well, I can't work out then because I need clean hair. And then just pop in whatever working out means to you. So when are you going to work out and when do you need clean hair? I know that this will take me longer because I need to look up stuff on an app. So I'm going to say 3 minutes, but I'll put it in the chapters so that you can jump if you are faster than me. So 3 minutes, go. Okie dokie. So that was 3 minutes. Possibly you didn't need that much time, but so be it. Next question is, when do we have big time this week? So big time would be a stretch of time available to you where you don't have like appointments or bits or things or stuff that you need to like think about or that will interrupt you, that you can sit down and get into a flow state, get into like a work mode and just like go. Big time might mean something different to you. For me, it's 4+ hours. Maybe in a different colour, if you've got a different colour to hand, just block out any big times that you can comfortably section out. You've got 1 minute, go. Okay, so this is where I'm jumbling up the order that I do things, because normally on the week level I would have a bunch of tasks written out from the sprint level that I would just pick from. As I don't have the sprint level currently, I'm going to do the sprint level bit now, which you can do on a weekly level. It's just a little bit extra admin per week, which is totally fine, because we're about getting it done, not about getting it done perfectly. So I don't know how long to, hang on, okay, how do I run this one? So I will go through it on the sprint level, and then I'll dip into the columns as needed. We're going to mishmash it through. Again, like, you can pause me. I can't pause me. I'm stuck with me in real time. But you can pause me or skip me, depending on what works for you. So let's do 1 minute. So the first question is, what clients, projects, or goals are we working on? 1 minute, off you go. So clients and projects, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 6 or 7, depending on if 5 is 1 or not. Next question is, what tasks for each would we like to get done? So here, what we're going to do is you're going to take every single one of these bullet points that you've just done, you're going to give it its own subheading, and you're going to do a series of bullet points underneath of all of the tasks for that category that you would like to get done. I am going to set a 2-minute timer per category. So for me, that's going to be 14 minutes. So pick a category, do a list, go. All right, next category, 2 minutes, go. All right, next category, go. That's time. I silenced the thing really quickly. So next category, go. Okay. Journals. I think I'm actually going to clump journals and stickers into one because it's basically my downtime stuff, but I'm just going to go both. So Okay, that was a bit more than 2 minutes overran, but that's okay. So that's your list of like everything that you would like to do. The next thing that I think is a good idea is to go through with another colour and highlight which of these you need to do to get done. But basically, like, what is the survival if your husband went into hospital? If your husband went into hospital and you had to basically drop everything and just focus on the very, very, very bare minimum so that you have a life to come back to 2 weeks later, what are those things? I'm going to give us, again, I'm just going to give us 2 minutes to go through and just highlight this stuff. If you want to, you can have a secondary colour. Go. So the next one is what tasks can be clumped. So you can use colours if you want to, if you happen to have them on hand. If you don't have them on hand, do not pause the video to go and find your colours. Jilly, I'm talking directly to you. You're just going to number them. So anything in group 1 can be clumped together in group 1, and you can have as many groups as you like, as many clumps as you like. However, you cannot have a clump of one item, because that is just one thing, and that is not a clump. And I'm going to give us 2 minutes to do this. So it's literally tasks that are similar enough or that use the same kind of brain space as each other that you can be like, cool, I will do all of that in one go. Done. Go. Off you go. Do it. And the next task is what things require big time. So like what things require big time. That's as self-explanatory as it can possibly be. So 2 minutes, what things on your list require a big space of time. Okay. So then we're going to go again, making it even more messy. What do we want to do first? And for this, I'm going to give you 1 minute, and this is 3 things that you want to do first. These are the 3 things that will make the biggest difference in terms of like your feeling of not being overwhelmed and not being stressed. They can be 3 really tiny things, they can be 3 really big things. It doesn't matter. It's just the 3 things that will have the biggest impact on how you feel going into the rest of the week. So 1 minute, go. And then the final one is how many hours do we need for specific clients? That is changing for me, and it's not relevant for most people anyway, so we'll leave that alone. So now we get to the fun bit, which is what is the reward for having a productive week? So this will feel silly if you are like me. I've had to learn how to reward myself, because otherwise my instinct has been like, oh, buy an entire cake, and then I feel guilty about having the entire cake. So make it something that is like, let yourself do a task that you have been putting off because it is forbidden. Forbidden is a term that I use to explain why I don't do things that I want to do, even though it would be helpful to do them, because it feels too fun. And because it feels too fun, it doesn't feel like real work. And if I'm not suffering, then it's not real work. And if it's not real work, then I can't justify spending my time on it. Because, you know, if Mike has a job that he has to do things that he doesn't enjoy, then why should I be allowed to enjoy my job, right? So it can be literally anything. It can be something productive, it can be something not productive. So it can be something from the list or not from the list. It could be literally anything that you want. For me, I'm not even going to put a timer on it. For me, I'm going to put up more of the colour swatches on my office wall. So my reward for having a productive week will be that on this weekend, Saturday or Sunday, the 25th or 26th, I will put up some more colour swatches. In fact, I am even going to put a time on it. I'm going to put 2 hours. I get 2 hours of that. That is my reward. So the next question is, what's the minimum goal and dream for the week? Basically, the minimum is, did you survive the week? Like, did you tangibly survive the week? If yes, you get a reward. So I would like you to write down all together at the same time as me. Minimum, survive. That is your minimum. That is not negotiable. That is part of this system. It is integral to this system. That's it. What is the goal for the week? Now you get to write your own thing. I don't care what you write for your goal. But like, try and make it realistic. Try not to be a dick to yourself. Like, pick something that if you were delegating it to someone else, you would be like, this is reasonable. This is a realistic, reasonable expectation. You gotta not be a dick, right? So 1 minute and pick out your goal for the week that you just want to accomplish. Okay. So my goal is to finish all of this. No, actually, see, that's immediately unreasonable. That's immediately unreasonable because this, and this, that use up all of my big time. But then this also requires big time. And so I literally set myself up to fail immediately. Fran, you're not going to catch yourself out this time. So I'm setting this as my dream instead. My goal. My goal will be to start. In fact, yeah, that's my goal. So my goals are the same as the dream, but just to make progress towards. So if I can complete the minimum stuff that I need to make some degree of progress, and to make any kind of progress on this stuff, and then to complete these two, because these are things that I just need to get better at doing, and I just want to do them. So that's it. That's the whole planning system. You could, at this point, allocate specific time to these tasks. So if you're someone who is capable of planning on a weekly level, where you can sit down now and go, okay, so Monday I'll work on this through this, Tuesday I'll work on this, this and this, Wednesday I'll work on this and this, bloody go for it. Like, that's amazing. Good for you. I know that that's not me. I know that I'm not capable of that. I will sit down tomorrow, look at this list and decide tomorrow what from this list I'm going to work on. I am not a weekly planner. Fundamentally, I'm a daily planner. And that's why I have so much difficulty and why I need to plan on a monthly and a weekly scale. But I'm not planning, I'm processing. So what I'm doing is I'm processing what needs to be done on a monthly scale, processing how to break that down onto a weekly scale so that I can meet that deadlines, those monthly sort of rhythms and rituals. And then on a daily level, I've got all of that processed context here that I can then just pick out from. Ginny, you're the best. I love you. Everyone else, I also love you guys too. Thank you for sticking this out with me. And I will see you another time. Bye, the internet.